cook our chicken. Step 1, refreshment of your choosing. Okay, so you'll come on in here. I'm gonna put a glove on because meat. Okay, so I'm gonna spray the Instant Pot a little bit on the bottom with some cooking spray. I have my chicken leg quarters here, so I split these up and de-skinned some. And I'm gonna lay them down in there. And whatever seasoning of your choosing, this is the one that I'm using. It's a salt-free. And I'm just gonna do a little bit on each layer because there's gonna be a few layers of chicken in here. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to pour some water in there, so it doesn't have to be perfectly coated or anything. When you pour the water in, some of the seasoning's going to rinse down. Hopefully it'll all fit because I think we're getting pretty close to the fill line here. Last piece. Yes. All right. Put our seasoning, and just be generous with it. A couple of cups of water. Like I said, it's going to kind of rinse down your seasoning. You want it just enough, kind of bubble down, just enough to keep your chicken from burning. That's about 2 cups. Then we're going to put that on seal and cook for 15 minutes. Okay, so I actually added 5 minutes and let it natural release for 10. So we're going to go ahead and release. That's happening because I overfilled it. So in future I would do this in 2 batches. Alright. So here's our chicken. Yeah, and now it's just fall off the bone. So it is done. So I'm going to pull this out, pull it off the bone, save this liquid. Chicken broken up. Do not throw this out. Save this. I'm just going to pour it into another pot so I can have my Instant Pot back. And I'm just going to set this on the stove and let it cool. Then, here's our chicken. So I just shredded this through again with the fork just to shred it up and make sure there's no more bones that I could have missed. And here are all the bones. Do not throw these out. You can use these to make broth. Okay, so first we're going to make the chicken enchiladas. So I'm going to set my Instant Pot to saute. If I can find the button. Right there. I'm going to dice one onion. Chopper, add that in, and to that I'm going to add a little bit of the juice from our chicken to use as my cooking. And all that stuff up off the bottom, it's going to make it taste really good. To work with these tortillas, I have corn tortillas here. It's going to be much easier if they're warmed up, so I'm going to go ahead and do that while my onions are going. Alright, so our onions are just about there. I microwave these for about a minute. I don't want to stick together too much. And then I'm going to open a can of green chilies. Goes in with our onions. So while that is going, I'll get my casserole pan ready. So I'm using this enchilada sauce. I think I got this from Thrive Market. But you can use whatever you've got. I'm going to do a layer on the bottom here. Smooth that out. You just want a thin layer so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. And we're going to add our chicken back in there. And we'll probably get about 3 recipes out of this. So we're going to add it all back in just about a third. So it looks good. Shred that up a little more too. And to that, we're going to add a packet of taco seasoning. And just a little bit of water. Stir it up together. And to this, we're going to add an 8-ounce package of cream cheese. It's going to melt. So we're going to add a little more liquid. Just so it's not sticking at the bottom. You don't want to make it too soupy though, because this is going to be our filling. And then we're just going to keep stirring until our cream cheese is melted and thoroughly incorporated. That's looking pretty good, so we're going to turn it off. Grab our tortillas. And just about half a spoonful. You want to be careful because this is hot. And we're just going to roll them and put them into our casserole. Leaks out a little, it's okay, it's no big deal.
Where are you gonna put that one? You're out of room.
I'm gonna make it fit.
That's what she said.
That's right. Boom. Alright, so then we're gonna pour the rest of our sauce over the top. Mix it all up. Kind of smooth it out here. Don't get dry spots. I'm gonna cover this with some cheese on top. And then we're gonna pop this in the oven, 400 degrees. Just long enough, everything's hot, so just long enough for the cheese to melt and those tortillas to get a little crispy on the edges. Alright, let's get these out of the oven. And there they are, guys, chicken enchiladas. Alright, so we've got 2 more bags of chicken meat left. And for one, I'm just going to add this bourbon style sauce. I got it a while back from the resale store. And we've used probably about half of it, but I'm going to try to use it up. I'm going to put that in one of these baggies and put this in the freezer for another meal. So you could use that like bourbon style chicken with like rice bowls. You could put it on sandwiches, however you want to serve it up. So I'm going to do that with one. And then I'll show you what I do with this last one. Alright, so this one is going to be incredibly easy. So I've got my chicken out of my pantry. I found about half a bag of noodles. Got canned carrots, some all seasoning. This is the one that I'm using. Can of cream of chicken. And this chicken broth needs used up. It was a clearance find, but it's dented, so you don't want to keep these for long-term storage. You want to use up dented cans right away. So we're going to boil these. I'll drain off most of the water, add the rest, and the chicken, and heat through. And that's really all you have to do. Alright, so our noodles are boiling. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the cream of chicken. They're not quite done yet, but they're getting close. So I'm going to go ahead and add this in, and I think I'm going to start with about half of this chicken and see how it is. And I could reserve the rest for another meal, or I may add it all in. We'll see. Alright, so I turned down the heat and I added about half the chicken. And I think that's going to be plenty because you're still going to get plenty of chicken in each portion. So I'm just letting this kind of heat through. That cream of chicken is thickening up the soup. I am going to add A little bit of my seasoning here. So be pretty generous with it. I'm not going to add the carrots until very last because canned carrots can get mushy and nobody's going to enjoy that. So I'm just going to keep stirring here until we're pretty warmed through. Our noodles are tender and done at this point. So I'm going to add in my carrots. And I'll stir those in. Give them just a minute or two here to heat through, and then I'm going to turn my heat off. And there you have it, guys. Nice hearty chicken soup, and I still have this left, so I think I have some barbecue sauce in the pantry, so I'm probably going to add that to this for the boys to have some shredded barbecue chicken sandwiches. So actually we got 4 meals out of those chicken leg quarters.